Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Micro Macro Science. Our topic for today's presentation is significance of extremophiles in biogeochemical cycles. So, as we all know that extremophiles are the organisms that inhabit environments characterized by inhospitable parameters for most of the living beings such as extreme temperature, pH values, high or low ionic strength, pressure or scarcity of nutrients, etc. To grow optimally under these conditions, extremophiles have evolved molecular adaptations affecting their physiology, metabolism, cell signaling, and so on. Due to their peculiarities in terms of physiology and metabolism, they have become good models for understanding the limit of life on Earth, exploring the possible existence of extraterrestrial life, and also to look for the potential application in biotechnology. And now, in recent researches, it is revealed that extremophilic microbes play some key roles in all the biogeochemical cycles on Earth. First of all, let us know the significance of extremophiles in nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is one of the most important biogeochemical cycles in which nitrogen is converted into multiple chemical forms which circulate among atmospheric, terrestrial, and aquatic ecosystems. It involves processes such as nitrogen fixation, where the atmospheric nitrogen is fixed to form ammonia. Then ammonification, where organic nitrogen is converted into ammonium ions by bacteria or fungi. Then nitrification, which is a aerobic process, the oxidation of ammonium ion to nitrite and subsequent oxidation of nitrite to nitrate. Nitrate or ammonium assimilation, it is when the autotrophic organism assimilate inorganic nitrate ion into their body after conversion of nitrate into ammonium. Then dissimilatory nitrate reduction to ammonia DNRA is also known as nitrate or nitrite ammonification. It is an anaerobic respiration by microorganism using nitrate as an electron acceptor rather than oxygen. It is further reduced to nitrite and then ammonium. Next is anaerobic ammonia oxidation. You can also call it as NMOX. In this, nitrite and ammonium ions are converted directly into diatomic nitrogen and water. There is one more term, that is COMAMOX, which means complete ammonia oxidation, where ammonia is converted into nitrite and then into nitrate through the process of nitrification. And lastly, denitrification, which is the process where microbially nitrate, that is NO3 minus, is reduced to nitrogen, that is N2 gas. Some organisms can oxidize either NH4 plus or NO2 minus by using a pathway, that is nitrification, while other organisms such as some planktomycetes oxidize NH4 plus and utilize NO2 minus as a respiratory electron acceptor in a pathway called NMOX, that is anaerobic ammonia oxidation. As per the recent discovery, members of Nitrospira genus such as Nitrospira marina, Nitrospira inopinnata are found to be the complete ammonia oxidizers in COMAMOX process, that is complete ammonia oxidation process. They have nitride oxidoreductase genes that make them capable to catalyze both nitrification steps, that is ammonia oxidation and nitride oxidation, and be nitride oxidizers. They are found in subsaline, that is 1.3 to 12.8 grams of salts per liter, and in highly alkaline lakes that ranges from pH 8.9 to 10.3. Metagenomic analysis of a newly enriched Nitrospira lineage 4 species Candidatus nitrospira alkali tolerance is also revealed in extreme alkaline conditions. While talking about the significance, we see that in aerobic ammonium oxidation, which is the process of converting ammonium to nitrate, the group of proteobacteria, that is ammonia oxidizing bacteria AOB, and ammonia oxidizing archaea AOA, have a higher substrate affinity for ammonia and are able to grow under extremely oligotrophic conditions and carry out the oxidation. However, the global characterization of this process in extremophilic environments is still scarce, and most of the results that reported come from the studies done with the members of Crenarchaea and Thomarchaea belonging to Archaea domain. Some of these works have been conducted in natural environments such as soil or the deep subsurface of hydrothermal aquifers, in which thermophilic archaea belonging to Thermaceuta phylum sustain this process. Regarding halophilic environments, aerobic ammonium oxidation has been reported from oceanic ecosystems such as coastal marine wetlands, anoxic oceanic depth zones, or coral reefs. Consequently, two major microbial groups are now believed to be involved in ammonia oxidation. Those are chemolithotrophic ammonia oxidizing bacteria AOB and ammonia oxidizing archaea AOA. Physiological studies have recently shown that the ammonia oxidizing soil Thermaceon Candidatus nitrospira venesis is able to grow on urea as an alternative source of NH3, and there is an evidence suggesting that urea is an important substrate for archaeal ammonia oxidation in polar waters. The anaerobic ammonium oxidation, that is NAMOX, which is the process of oxidizing ammonium through the reduction of nitrite, is carried out by the domain archaea. Thus, the degree of characterization of this process in extremophiles is relatively low compared to the knowledge of NAMOX in mesophilic bacteria. Extremophilic microorganisms, that is, thermophilic bacteria and archaea, especially halophilic archaea, reduces nitrate to dinitrogen anaerobically, and that is known as anaerobic denitrification. Some of the denitrifiers are complete with all the four enzymes, that is, respiratory nitrate reductase NAR, respiratory nitrite reductase NIR, nitric oxide reductase NOR, and nitrous oxide reductase NOS. In the case of thermophilic bacteria, denitrification has been studied in few species of the genera Thermus. Related to extreme archaea, denitrification has been studied in several species of halophilic archaea as well as in the thermophilic archaeon, example Pyrobaculum aerophyllum. A few examples of anaerobic denitrification have also been reported from moderately halophilic bacteria. All denitrifying archaea characterized thus are either organotrophic halophiles or lithoautotrophic hyperthermophiles that are using NO3- as electron acceptor. The exception is Pyrobaculum aerophyllum, which is accepting both NO3- and NO2-. Archaeal denitrifiers produce various mixtures of NO2-, NO, N2O, and N2, and Pyrolobus fumari release NH4 plus in a process called nitrate ammonification. Finally, nitrate and ammonium assimilation have been very well characterized in symbiotic microbes, mesophilic bacteria, algae, plant, and fungi. However, the knowledge about this process in extreme environment is still very little, and that too limited to only few members of Halopheraceae family, which is halophilic archaea, and some few thermophilic bacteria. In the case of Haloarchaea, nitrate assimilation involves two enzymes. Those are assimilatory nitrate reductases and assimilatory nitrite reductases. The ammonium produced from nitrate or nitrite reduction or ammonium directly taken up from the environment can be assimilated through the glutamine synthetase when the intracellular concentration of ammonium is relatively low, mostly seen in Bacillus candolyticus, and through glutamate dehydrogenase if the cytoplasmic ammonium concentration is significantly high, which is mostly seen in Thermus thermophilus. Here in the first picture you can see the Nitrosopumilus maritimus, which is an ammonia oxidizing archaeon isolated from saltwater aquarium, which is capable of oxidizing ammonium aerobically to nitrite. In next picture, it is a novel hyperthermophilic archaeum found in Italy that can thrive at 100 degrees Celsius and forms dinitrogen by aerobic respiration as well as dissimilarity nitrate reduction. The studies are still going on this archaeum. These new isolate resembled members of genera Thermoproteus and Pyrobaculum by its ability to form characteristic terminal spherical bodies, the Gulf clubs. On the basis of its 16S RNA sequence, the new isolate exhibited a close relationship to the genus Pyrobaculum. So, that's all about significance of extremophiles in nitrogen cycle. In our next video, we will learn about significance of extremophiles in phosphorus cycle. So, still if you have not subscribed our channel, then please do subscribe it and press the bell icon to get notified about our next video. And also like, share and do comment and ask questions. And you can even let us know whether you have understood the concept or how you would like to learn in future through us. Thank you and take care.